From the charming medieval houses to the green, lush, romantic parks, this enchanting city on the shores of the Baltic Sea has a lot to offer. Tallinn is the capital of Estonia. It's also the largest city in the country with a population of over 450,000 people. And comes summer, the seaside terraces are open, the harbours are filled with boats, and the nights are bright and the days are long. This is my guide on how to explore Tallinn in summer as a local. Some housekeeping rules first. Tallinn has 4 very distinctive neighbourhoods, and in this video I will take each neighbourhood and highlight main attractions that you can see there, some points of focus, some tips, as well as places where you can eat and drink. And at the very end of this video I will talk a little bit about the public transport here and some fun ways on how you can explore Tallinn. As always, all the places will be linked in the description box below. Let's start. The old town of Tallinn is definitely one of the best well-preserved medieval towns in Europe. And walking on the streets of the old town, it does truly feel quite atmospheric and a little bit unreal, as if all of these houses are a part of a movie set. Well, rest assured, all of these houses are real. This is where the 14th century merchants used to live. All these houses have been well preserved and restored and very pretty to look at. The town hall building on the town hall square is actually dating back to the early 14th century, and last year it celebrated its 700th anniversary, which makes this city hall the oldest in Northern Europe. There's also the town hall pharmacy on the town hall square, which I think you should check out. What makes this pharmacy special is that it has a museum room of antique medicines. It's quite small, but it's really lovely to walk around, and you also get wonderful views on the town hall square. This pharmacy, back in the medieval times, also used to be a spot where merchants would meet up, make some important decisions whilst drinking spiced red wine. Something that you don't necessarily do in pharmacies anymore. But from this pharmacy you can still get a bottle of spiced red wine as if you're back in the medieval times. The old town of Tallinn has 46 defence towers, and they're pretty much all connected with the city walls, and you should definitely climb one. And the best place, in my humble opinion, to do so is in the Kiek Fortifications Museum. This is like 3 different museums in one package, in one spot. Not only saves you time, as you don't have to travel between different museums, you also get a really good value when it comes to the entry tickets to the museum. In the Kiek Fortifications Museum, you get to climb the 14th century defense tower, where you get to see how the medieval folk of Tallinn used to live, what sort of food they used to have, what sort of armory they used to have. It's really quite nice. You also get to climb and walk along the medieval city wall with some great views on the Danish King's Garden and the very tall St. Nicholas Church. You also get to explore bastion passages. These are a network of underground tunnels that are dating back to the 17th century. And what I particularly enjoyed is to see all these ancient, ornate pieces of stones that definitely add a lot to the medieval atmosphere. The old town of Tallinn is built in layers. One of the best ways to explore it is to make your way all the way to the top, to one of the viewing platforms. And my favorite viewing platforms are Purtse and Mikkeli viewing platforms, as you do get lovely views on the rooftops of the houses, the harbour at the back, the business district of Tallinn. It really is truly quite beautiful out there. The old town of Tallinn has quite a few churches, and 4 of them you can actually climb, and my favorite one is St. Olaf's Church. The church itself is over 123 meters tall, but the real treasure is located 60 meters above the ground. It's the viewing platform that will definitely take your breath away, but getting up there is not your usual walk in the park. You do have to climb 258 steps that are narrow and pretty high, but you do have some ropes to hang on to help you on your way up. As you are about to give up, you actually reach the top with some undisturbed 360-degree views on Tallinn. From the very top, you can see the historic old town, the business district of Tallinn with all the high-rises there, And on the opposite side, you get to see the harbour with the ferries coming in and out. And in July and August, the viewing platform was open a little bit longer until 8 o'clock in the evening, so you can actually enjoy the beautiful sunset views over the town. Contrary to popular belief, Tallinn can get pretty hot during summer days, and the best way to cool down is to stop at Gelato Ladies for some ice cream. The place is located in the old town. They do delicious Italian-style ice cream. They have been winning awards year in and year out, and locals do love the spot. Pistachio and mango flavors are the bomb. To get the most out of your warm, long summer nights in Tallinn, I highly recommend checking out Lee Restaurant. It has this gorgeous, beautiful, very peaceful inner courtyard that is nested between the medieval walls. The menu concept is from farm to table with a focus on contemporary Estonian cuisine. And Lee's take on iconic Estonian curd snack, kohhuke, is absolutely mind-blowing, yet delicious, and probably some of the most creative I've seen so far. Telliskivi is a complete opposite from the medieval old town. It's hip, it's edgy, it's super creative, and it's located only 10 minutes away from the old town. As you will be entering the neighborhood, you will notice the abundance of the street art there. Actually, Telliskivi is considered to be the best neighborhood to see the best murals in Tallinn, as there are plenty of street art pieces to check out and take pictures of. One of my favorite art pieces is done by the local artist Isaac, and it's called Stylishly Pink. It's a girl with a flamingo. I just really like the colors. If you would like to know a little bit more about each street art piece there, I highly recommend booking a street art tour with Pseudo tours. I did my tour last year, and honestly it was really educational, quite eye-opening, and I have tremendous respect for all the hard work that artists have done in this area to make it so vibrant and colorful and cool right now. The whole vibe of Telliskivi is to take old buildings and breathe new life into them. And in one such old building, you will be able to find a long indoor shopping street. And this is probably the best place where you can see what contemporary Estonian designers have been up to. Some of these shops also have working zones where you can actually see people working on their items literally in front of your eyes. I think it's a great place to buy something handcrafted with fashion, be it a leather bag or a t-shirt or a ceramic cup. I think any of these items will make for a really lovely souvenir. Food scene in Telliskivi is absolutely banging. For a quick lunch, I recommend checking out F-Hoone. It's a very hip, very cool place with a very small but very delicious menu. And I particularly enjoy their take on a burger. And instead of your typical brioche bun, they serve it with an Estonian dark rye bread, which is actually really delicious. Across the road, you can stop at the award-winning local beer brewery, and as an IPA drinker, they definitely have my stamp of approval. If you are more into wine, literally next door, there is a Nudist wine shop. These guys are rather cool. They make wines out of berries that grow in Estonia, such as raspberries, white currants, gooseberries. And this is also the place where I tried my very first rhubarb wine. It was surprisingly really good. The crown jewel of Telliskivi is Fotografiska. On the ground floor, you have a very spacious, very lovely Scandi-style coffee shop. I particularly enjoy this space because they have loads of huge-sized photographs dotted around the wall, so the whole space is rather creative. Of course, the main bit of this building is the museum itself that is stretching across 2 or 3 stores. They do display exceptionally well-curated exhibitions with some top world-class photography. And I particularly enjoy that each room has its own vibe, its own style of lighting, and even its own wallpaper. If you are into photography, this is a must visit. On top of the building, you do have the restaurant, which focuses on the sustainable cuisine, and also a rooftop terrace bar, which I personally think is a lovely spot to end your evening at. Come upstairs, order a lovely cocktail, go outside and sit on the rooftop terrace and enjoy the views of the old town as the sun is setting. The Kadriorg Park is home to one of the best-looking palaces in Estonia, and it's a must visit. But let's talk about the park itself first. The Kadriorg Park that is located in the Kadriorg neighbourhood is stretching over 70 hectares, which makes it the largest park in Tallinn, and it's the prettiest, in my humble opinion. It's located about 15 minutes away from the city centre, and you should definitely check it out. The highlight of the neighbourhood is, of course, the Kadrirog Palace, which was built by Peter the Great for his wife Catherine the First as a summer residence. The palace is dating back to the 18th century and it's built in a Baroque style, and it's absolutely gorgeous inside. My highlight was seeing the grand-looking ballroom. It has a massive painting on the ceiling. There are loads of initials of Catherine on the walls of the ballroom, and just in general, the room is very ornate, very beautifully designed. And the rest of the museum is filled with the paintings and statues of the 19th century, which is just wonderful to walk around and admire the beauty. The palace is surrounded by gorgeously manicured gardens featuring large fountains, colourful flower beds, and green arcs underneath which you can actually walk and enjoy the shade from the midday sun. And if you are a Tallinn card holder, you should definitely pop into the Mikkeli Museum, which is just across the road. The Mikkeli Museum has the largest foreign art collection in Estonia, and I particularly enjoying seeing the statue that was carved by very famous Italian sculptor Antonio Canova in one of the rooms. The Kadriorg Park is also home to Estonia's largest contemporary art museums, the KUMU Art Museum. And when it opened its doors first in 2006, this museum was voted one of the best contemporary art museums in Europe, so it's a huge thing. The museum itself is stretching over 4 floors, and it has a vast collection of Estonian art from the 18th century up until now. And there are about 13 different rooms that you can explore, and my favorite room was the room with the heads. The official name of the installation is the Seagull, which was named after one of the sculptures. There are 83 busts of important cultural and historical figures, and walking amongst them was quite fun. The architecture of the museum is art in itself. The building is huge, humongous rather, and it's cut into the limestone cliff. And it has loads of this very unusual sharp edges, which just make this whole building rather ageless, and it just fits rather perfectly into the Kadriorg Park. When it comes to coffee, locals enjoy Cafe Knob for its very friendly and welcoming atmosphere. They also do freshly baked goods every morning, and they have very strong coffee. I particularly enjoy this place because they have an inner courtyard that is tucked away from the main street, and as a city girl who doesn't have access to a garden but likes to sit in one, I really enjoy this place a lot. If you're looking for an elegant finish to your evening, you should definitely book a table at Mon Repos. This restaurant is actually tucked away from the main road, and it is located in a historic summer villa. The villa itself dates back to the 19th century, and right at the very beginning it used to serve food, and it's rather cool to see that all these decades later it still serves great food. It also has a very summery rose garden at the front where you can sit down, enjoy a glass of your crisp white wine, and Mon Repos' signature dish, lobster ravioli. I mean, TripAdvisor people are raving about it, the staff is raving about it, and now a year later, I'm still raving about it. And finish your evening walking through the park towards the Rusalka Memorial. And from the Reidi Road promenade, you can actually witness some gorgeous views on the sun setting over the Tallinn Bay. It truly is a very local thing to do, and it's rather beautiful. Noblessner historically used to be a submarine shipyard, but now it's one of the trendiest, fastest growing areas in Tallinn. It's located about 25 minutes from the old town, but once you're there, it doesn't quite feel like you're in the city anymore. The area is home to the Seaplane Harbour Museum, which is the most popular museum in Tallinn right now. The museum is large and it has over 200 different items on display, and one of these items is an actual full-size submarine, so you can imagine how huge is this museum. My highlight, without a doubt, was checking out this decommissioned submarine called Limbit, where I was trying not to hit my head or my camera as I was walking through a narrow tunnel of the submarine. Jokes aside though, seeing how a crew of 32 men used to live and work in these very cramped conditions was truly astonishing, very educational, very eye-opening. And once you finish with the indoor part of the museum, there is the whole outdoor part to explore. The biggest exhibit there is over 100 years old, steam-powered icebreaker, Suurtill. You can actually climb on board and even go inside and see how the crew used to live, where did they cook, and what sort of entertainment was provided on board. In one of the ex-foundries in Noblessner, you can find Proto Invention Factory. This museum specializes on the scientific discoveries of the 20th century. The big focus here is on virtual reality, which means that with the help of your goggles, you can actually learn how to fly an air balloon and even escape the prison with that, how to steal gold from the cowboys, and how to fly around the steampunk city, which is rather fun. And if you're coming with your mates, which I think you should, you can even test your endurance on a biking competition, a task that is not as easy as it sounds, but it was fun nevertheless. Noblessner is probably one of the best places for evening dinner, and there are plenty of places to choose from, and I honestly don't think there's a wrong answer here. I personally enjoyed Laura Bistro. I really like the whole interior design where the old industrial cranes on the ceiling meet very cozy green tiled fireplace. And they're quite bold when it comes to flavors. I have tried their charred leek with cashew sauce, which was good, and then I had smoked trout on Estonian baby greens, which was just really delicious. I have particularly enjoyed the fact that I can take my glass, walk outside to the outside terrace and enjoy the gorgeous views on the marina, boats coming in and out. For a second I honestly felt like I'm on a holiday, which is rather nice. And if you're looking for a banging cocktail place, I highly recommend checking out Agavaria Bar. It's a Mexican-style bar that specializes on spirits that are made out of agave plants. It's also the place where you can try Mexican chapulines or spicy grasshoppers if you're brave enough. And also, who can deny these views? The great bit about our capital is that Tallinn is compact and you can reach any museum on foot, or it will be a very short ride on any public transport. And if you're planning to visit more than 3 museums in a day, I highly recommend getting Tallinn card. With Tallinn card, you also get access to public transport whilst your card is active, which I think is really handy. I also think it's kind of cool to explore Tallinn on a bike. You can actually explore pretty much the whole of the old town as well. Yes, the streets are cobbled, so do not go fast and be safe. The promenade route from the old town to the Kadriorg Park is actually rather wonderful and very flat and very easy and comfortable to cycle on. And if you carry on that route itself, in no time you will reach Purtse Promenade, which is full of sea and water activities. You can rent a sailing boat here, you can do some windsurfing, you can do SUP, or you can just chill on the beach. It's a lovely place to be at. I've rented my bike from City Bikes. They do have office in the old town and they are a partner of Visit Tallinn, which means that you do get a bit of a discount if you're going to be renting with them. Whew. Alright guys, that's me done. Leave any of your questions in the comments down below. I'm Polly and I will see you in the next one. Have fun!